Hello student, today I would like to talk about how to construct a dichotomous key. Dichotomous key is used to identify a non-living organism. First of all, we need to learn some steps for constructing a dichotomous key. Step 1, we need to identify the physical trait of the unknown organism. So what are the physical traits? They may be wings, legs, shells, etc. So I give you some example. On my hand, I got a snail, a snake, a bee, and a fish. So, can you spend a few seconds to think what physical traits do they have? Okay, for the snail, of course, very obvious. It got shell. And for the snake, and maybe you cannot see it or think about it, but if you've pre-studied the chapter 3, you will know that it got dry scales. And how about the bee? Very obvious, it got wings. And it got legs as well. And finally fish, it got fins and slimy scale. Both the snake and the fish got scale, but the nature is a bit different. One is dry, one is slimy. Okay? So after we identify some of the physical traits among this living organism, we need to go for the second step of constructing the dichotomous key. That is, choose one physical trait that will divide the organism into two groups. Okay. So in this case, I recommend you to construct a table for make yourself more clear about that. So here is the table. And as you can see, the leftmost column contains that 4 organisms, snail, snake, bee, and fish. And then the physical trait of them, I put it down here. And you can put a tag on different boxes to see what physical trait that each organism has. First of all, the snail got shell, and the rest of the trait the snail don't have. So the second one, dry scale, it got dry scale only. And for the bee, it got wings and legs. And finally, fish, it got fins and slimy scale. So now we need to think about this sentence. We need to select one physical trait and then divide the 4 organisms into 2 groups. So now I will choose shell as the first selected physical trait. Okay, after you select the traits, now you really need to construct a dichotomous key. Now I show you some of the part of the key. First of all, you need to put down a heading of this key because these 4 organisms are all animals. So I put down animals. But maybe sometime you need to do a dichotomous key for flowers or for fruit. Then you can put different titles of this key. Okay. So now after I have the heading of this key, then I have 2 branches come out from the heading, and only 2 branches, not 3, not 4, because the second step we need to select one trait and then divide them into 2 groups only, so we just have 2 branches. And the first selected physical trait I have is the shell. So you can see here there are 2 groups. One of the group that has shell, and the rest of the group, the second group, we don't have shell. So that is why one physical trait divides the organism into 2 groups. The 2 groups will be with shell and without shell. That is that 2 groups. So after all, you need to write down with shell and without shell. And then we proceed to the next step. And as we know that we divided the organism into 2 groups, and there only one organism belongs to the group with shell. So we cannot further divide this group further. So we will put, actually we know it must be the snail because only snail got shell among these 4 organisms. So how about this one? Because we remove this into two groups. So now, this group is the shell, okay? Snail here. And this is the second group, and we still have 3 organisms here. So now we need to select another physical trait. Do you remember the table that we removed the snail already? So let's select the second trait. For example, like dry scale. So I select dry scale. And just repeat the same procedure. And let's put on. If we have the second trait that is dry scale, so here we put the first group will be with dry scale, and the second group will be without dry scale. So this time the physical trait will be the dry scale, and the two groups of this physical trait will be with dry scale and without dry scale. Okay? So, and then we move on. And under the dry scale, because we only got 3 organisms here, only. So the only organism that got dry scales will be the snake. So this one will be the snake with the dry scale here. And then for this, because we still have 2 organisms, that is the bee and the goat and the fish, and we need to have one more separation, that we need to select another trait to separate these 2 organisms into 2 groups. What the trait we have to select? Okay, now let's take a look here. And as you can see on this table, you can select any trait that, for example, the bee has, but the fish don't have. Okay? So I can select wing or legs, or I can select fin or slimy scale, because all they don't share any common trait actually. So maybe I select wings as the third physical trait. So after all, repeat, I will put with wings and without wings. And very obviously, if those with wings, then it must be the bee. I don't have enough space, so just put down the word. And the last one will be the fish. So I hope, yeah, the fish is here. So now you have the key. Let me make it just contain the word only. Make it simple. So this is a dichotomous key with the heading and every layer divided by 2 branches, and these 2 branches are separated by the physical trait. And then after the separation, if the group cannot further be divided, you can put the name of the organism down. And then if there are other organisms in the group that is more than 1, the group is more than 1 organism, then you need to further divide them into 2 branches by another physical trait and write it down. And then do it again and again. And this is the simplest one. And you may encounter more difficult versions of dichotomous key. Hope that after watching this video, you know how to construct a dichotomous key.